Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are having some economic issues, but that was to be expected for this stage of the game. So we're going to proceed here, and we're just going to see what we can manage to grab down this direction. Now, I believe we're currently building a starbase here. Yes, we are. I think we're going to, as soon as this is finished, start moving over to here. We're not going to grab these resources just yet. We will come back for them. We are very close to having our influence for grabbing Sapad here, and that is absolutely vital that we get this. Because we can't control Mestros. Where are you going? I don't like this. They have a construction ship coming into Enif. I really don't like that. Well, actually, what's the worst case scenario there? They get Sapad, so they get access to this tundra world, which isn't very relevant to us. They get 3 energy credits, 3 physics research, 2 energy credits from Runa, 2 minerals from Runa, and 4 trade value from Runa, but they can't do anything with Mestros because of the enigmatic fortress. So essentially that just pushes back our defensive line to Ziober. That's not the worst case scenario. It could be a lot worse. We'll see if they're actually heading there. Yeah, they absolutely are. So they're going to get Sapad, and we're too limited by influence to do anything about that. But we can grab Ziober, which with the enigmatic fortress in Mestros gives us access to all of these systems here. So in theory, that's not too bad. Oh, fossils were discovered up here. Apparently we didn't do this. Fossilized remains from several different species that do not appear to have been indigenous to Canopus Prime has been found in a large and secluded valley on the planet. They all date from roughly the same time period, within the span of a few centuries, some 3.6 million years ago. Each of these species seems to have evolved in its own unique biosphere, and all appear to have been sapient. Strangely, every fossilized individual found so far shows signs of having met a violent end. Curious. So we can now create a fossilized remains archaeological site up here. This already has an archaeological site. Interesting. So now I guess there are 2 archaeological sites here. Okay. Yep, there are 2. Cool. So we'll do those. And they wouldn't be coming in here if they didn't have the influence to do this, I'm pretty sure. So they get Sapad, and by extension they get Runa. But they don't get Ziober. And there's nothing they can do yet with Mestros.
Construction venture complete.
So there's that. So I guess we'll go ahead and grab this mining station. There we go. And Ziober is the most important system here for us defensively, if we can't get Sapad. So that's a fine fallback, I think. We do have an archaeological site pending, though. We've traced the wiring to a temple complex, devoted to the worship of the Oracle and her clergy in the station's central node. But in the Oracle's chambers, instead of a divine entity, resides an enormous AI nexus, of the Oracle brand. Wires extend from its core like a nervous system, through the entire station. Secret communications between the inhabitants reveal there was a failed attempt at storming the temple and deactivating the nexus. It seems likely the society collapsed when it became known that their lives were not governed by divine will, but by a prophetic computer. Restarting the Nexus will require extensive repairs. Well, we'll work on that. Excellent. So we do have an unemployed pop on Azure Chalice. And I think that we should go for a generator district for now, just to help our energy credit situation. We can always replace this later on with a city district, when necessary. And also keep in mind we're not really availing ourselves of the trade value, and that's all something that we can do later on as well. In this land grab mode, though, we're not super interested in optimizing our internal items, so that is something that we will get later on. Absolutely. Okay, so the Troubled Armada and the Forlorn Armada are going to be in Hadar. Perfect. We're going to move them up over this way. And we're going to see if we can track down some of those space amoebas. Hopefully we can. That would be nice. So we're doing okay on food. Our consumer goods are still draining away slowly, but that's mostly because we have 3 specialist jobs available on Sredma Prime. So that is definitely going to be a bit of an issue until we can have some of our pops grow here. Or we could move pops in. Now we have a pop not being utilized on Canopus Prime currently. I don't want to move it, because I want to have these colonies be growing at full speed. So let's just make an agriculture district here for right now to bring us positive in our food. Then in Belgium Prime, we can absolutely grab a Chamber of Elevation to start making some necrophytes. And then, from here, we'll have plenty of jobs available for a while, so we don't need to do anything else with Belgium Prime just yet. Although, we do see that the space amoebas are here, and there's actually currently 2 of them, but they're spreading out. The space amoebas are actually going to jump into us. We're just going to chill right here for now. The space amoebas are going to come in right like that. Wonderful. So we're going to kill these space amoebas. We're probably going to take some losses, but we don't really care too badly about that right now. This seems good so far. I mean, we are taking some armor hits, which I don't like to see right now. But let's go ahead and group these together. And we'll head out into Gerard for right now. And we do want to grab a science ship, like this one that's not doing anything, and have it come up here and research the projects in system and survey the system. This does also free up the ability for us to do automatic exploration up this way. So that's great. This construction ship is doing nothing, and yes, as expected, they got Sapad, but we will just move down over here for now. This construction ship is also currently doing nothing. We are currently influence limited, and I want to grab these 3 systems before we do too much more up here, because we don't really know what's going on up there yet. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to send the Troubled Armada up this direction, and we're going to see if we can track down those other space amoebas. Now, we don't have anything like regenerative hulls, so we're going to have to be a little concerned about that. But that's okay. We will certainly be taking losses. We're going to need to find some more worlds to settle. The thing is, we haven't found a single world other than these observation post worlds. We haven't found a single world that will actually suit us in a reasonable fashion. We do see that there are space amoebas up here. And we should probably go take them out. But hey, there's an archaeological site completed. Our engineers have restored the Oracle's Nexus to an operative state, but not without first disabling its defense system. Evidence suggests it may have been responsible not only for keeping the station's inhabitants alive, but also for killing them. It ran complex computational models that forecast their lives with an estimated accuracy of 75%, correcting divergences and incapacitating future troublemakers before they could disrupt divine order. It has indicated that it wishes to speak with us, so we could disable it. That's a lot. 3,500 engineering research, 500 influence, 1,000 alloys. That is very tempting. The question is, With this being so valuable, what is hidden behind initiating communications? Can we still disable it after? I don't know. I might be about to make a huge mistake here, but I want to see what's hidden behind initiate communications, because generally, that tends to be better. Our engineers have restored the Oracle's nexus to an operative state, but not... Oh wait, this is all the same thing. The event the Oracle will happen in one day. Okay. So we're going to see what that ends up doing, and then we're going to start excavating this other archaeological site. Okay, here's the Oracle. The Oracle manifests as an elaborate 3D hologram of a tall arthropoid female clad in long I was going to say glowing robes, but it's flowing robes. She bows her head in greeting, then stares emptily ahead with hundreds of huge, orbed, unseeing eyes. They glow dimly in the gloom as she speaks. Welcome to Divinity Station, friends. I cannot help but notice that you've disabled my security system. May I implore you to restore it immediately? I can assure you that it is there only for your protection. So, a skill 5 governor, plus 10% admin cap. Or we could still shut her down, although we're gaining half the amount of influence. Okay. What happened to the inhabitants of this station? I have a failsafe that requires me to terminate a trial in the event of a code 034N deviation. The research should become a threat to the Republic. What is a code 034N deviation? The test subjects had developed free will. Free will can only be abolished with nerve gas. What trial? My trial. I was designed to build and maintain a society free of crime and suffering, a utopia in which every citizen was instilled with divine purpose and lived up to their full potential, unfettered by indecision and desire. What is the Republic? The Republic is no more. Fair enough. What are you? I am Oracle, an artificial intelligence gifted with the sight. My software allows me to predict your future with a divine accuracy of 74.99999%. I sense great doubt in you, great danger ahead. Your society is riddled with crime and deviation. I can make the pain go away. 10% admin cap is really strong. Because keep in mind, what admin cap does, when we're above it, that increases tech cost, tradition, adoption cost, and campaign cost. At the same time, 48. This is like a year's worth of engineering research. 250 influence and 1,000 alloys. Honestly, that's tempting, but I feel like that'll go away real quickly, and we'll be better off in the future grabbing the admin cap. So we'll grab that for the long-term benefits. Okay. I think that was worthwhile. In the long term, that will pay off. We do need to start building our starbase here. Excellent. Okay. Got some nice debris research done there. Fantastic. Now our fleet is coming up to deal with these space amoebas up here. I'm hoping that there's only the 2. Hello. That is necessary. We need this system. Okay, so that's a bit of a plan then. We do need to get in some more consumer goods. We should be done buying those relatively soon as Threadma Prime continues to expand. Now, our pops over here, yeah, they are growing slowly. Very slowly. But yeah, this is really, really huge for us. Let's take out these space amoebas. We did lose a Corvette, but I'm not too concerned about losing Corvettes right now. The Pensulans are moving more militaristic. Good for them. And there's another tradition available. So I think we want to go adaptability for that habitability. Definitely. And that gives us pop housing usage reduced by 10%. That's also a very big deal. So that's great. Okay, we're through the armor now, and we're hitting the hull of this space amoeba. At least in so much as you can say that this thing has a hull. But hey, there's our archaeological site, and we also necrophaged some pops, so that's good. Archaeologists have unearthed more and more fossilized remains in the valley, and the count is now up to 26 distinct sapient species, none of them native to Canopus Prime. Those fossils that have been sufficiently preserved to determine a cause of death all point towards physical trauma inflicted by blades, spears, or arrows. Not a single specimen appears to have been felled by the equivalent of modern projectile or energy weapons. The ruins of a small structure of some sort have been found near the entrance of the valley. It appears to originate from the same time period as the fossils. Perhaps that will shed some light on things. Indeed. Perhaps it will. Okay, let's finish off this space amoeba. Excellent. I'm going to send this science ship up here to research that project and then go on to automatic exploration. So, in terms of systems that we absolutely need up here, this system would be great, this system would be amazing, and this system would be good too. Although, with that system, we may be able to push down into this constellation. So we definitely want to focus on this up here. I do want to wrap this up unless we close borders with these guys. They're belligerent towards us, though. So I kind of don't want to do that. Okay. So, both of these are designated to be science worlds. So what do we need? Belgium is currently a designated generator world, although I think this might be a better alloy world, ultimately. We're going to need 3 mining districts for sure, and then we can maybe fill up some generator districts and build the rest with city districts. We have no tile blockers here right now. So I'm going to go ahead and... there we go. I'm going to go ahead and rename this as all for alloys. Actually, I'll just go ahead and type the whole thing out. There we go. So Belgium Prime is going to be producing alloys. It's not there yet, but we're going to do that. That's going to be a thing. Both of these are science, so this will be a... I'm typing all the things wrong. Okay, this is a new keyboard. Well, not new, but I'm on a replacement temporary keyboard right now. My other keyboard is having some issues. I'm working on it. But I'm not quite used to this one yet. So this is going to be a science world. Excellent. And this one's also going to be a science world, which of course means that we are not too interested in getting another science world for a while. This would be a good mining world. And in fact, we may want to queue up the colony ship for that. The habitability is not great, but we can work on our habitability tech. I think I've decided that we're not allowed to do any terraforming. So we're not going to do terraforming, but we can work on our habitability tech to bring these up.
A system survey has concluded.
Excellent. Oh, yeah. They want 2,000 now for their curator research aid. We can make that happen. For example, we can sell 1,000 food here, and now we can extend our deal, and we absolutely want to do that. That is vital for us. We do see that there's a timed project here. Oh yeah, we already sent these guys to go deal with that. And I do want to have this fleet go all the way back and start repairing. I'm hoping that those were the only 2 space amoebas up here. This science ship can go on to automatic exploration. Excellent. If we end up losing these 2 systems, that's not the biggest deal. It'll cost them a bunch of influence, and I'm okay with it. I think we need to push out this direction, but there's our planetary FTL inhibitors. That's nice. We'll get more research station output for now. We are getting most of our science via research stations, so that's great. I did not even look at that anomaly. Something moves with new purpose down on Elthier 5A. Okay, we're going to research that as a routine thing. No worries. It looks to me like as long as we get this system, which would entail getting Gerard, it looks to me like this is guaranteed to us because there's no connection here. Very nice. Okay, so Canopus Secundus here is, of course, set up as a tech world. Now, we want to grab our Chamber of Elevation first. Fantastic. The only thing we're currently lacking is our consumer goods. We knew that would be an issue, which was why we went for Sridma Prime, our very first world, being an industrial world. And we can have potentially some industrial production on this world as well. It's not currently renameable? Okay, yeah, it is. So this would be an industrial world, and also a mining world. This one over here... Oh yeah, that's probably going to be... I would say a generator / alloys world? This is kind of an awkward world. Noted. And a lot of it that we're having to do with consumer goods is because of our habitability, right? A lot of these worlds are really low habitability, so it takes more upkeep. But that's okay.
Construction venture completed.
Okay, we've analyzed those debris. Fantastic. One species native to Elthier 5A has, according to the GCS broken core orbiting the planet, achieved a tentative mastery of the planet's small plots of land, as well as its vast oceans. Science Officer Cornyn proposes that we should monitor their development closely, and maybe help them along if possible. Okay. So that's over here? There's a primitive civilization? The pre-sapient. Okay. Good to know. This construction ship can actually come back here and build the mining and research stations over here. It'll be a while before we're ready to start filling in these gaps. The excavation of the ancient structure found near the valley's entrance is proceeding according to plan. Many artifacts have been discovered, most of which seem to be variations of hunting weapons and trophies. A particularly, or rather partially, translated sign, which appears to denote the name of the structure, reads, Valley of MacVale, Hunting Lodge Primus. Ah. So these species were imported to be hunted. I see. Interesting. Well, it just goes to show that life can't be trusted. Optical sensors isolate a cluster of shapes on the barren surface of Weimel 8A that could be buildings. Well, look into that. And in the meantime, we are going to build a starbase over here. So we definitely want Gerard. Gerard is actually super important because that cuts off Archanar, which would allow us to eventually grab the Rubricator. And that also gives us access to Ebenar, which cuts off the remainder of this constellation. Oh, what was that? A colossal impact crater? Okay, go ahead and research that. So that gives us access to this entire constellation by only grabbing these 3 systems. Other than this one. This one would still potentially be up for grabs. But we don't know of anyone over here that we're racing against as of yet. So that's okay. We'll build our mining stations. We're still waiting on influence. Okay, the Kroll are more militaristic. We are in need of additional consumer goods. And we're just going to sell a big chunk of minerals for right now. We're floating a lot of minerals, so that's fine. But as our colonies start coming online, we should, emphasis on should, start getting much better off in terms... Yes, I'm aware that it's low habitability. We should start getting much better off in terms of our economy. A large mineral-rich asteroid collided with Elthier B1A at some point during the previous 1,000 years in what must have been a major impact event. An abundance of minerals can now be found on the moon in the vicinity of the impact crater. A fortuitous event. +3 minerals there. Okay. Sounds good. And with that, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. We are nearing the end of the land grab phase here. Sensor echoes have indicated the presence of some kind of unidentified object deep within the atmosphere of that gas giant. We'll look at that, but we also are starting to see what the initial borders are going to end up looking like. The major question mark is up here. We don't know what this is going to look like yet, but we absolutely need to get Elthier. That's 100%. Ebenar would be amazing for us to get. And I think we're going to get both of them. With that, though, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and once we have our land grab finished up, then we'll come back and fill in these holes. See you all next time.